My businesses combined make over $250,000 a month in revenue, and so on this video I want to show you where our current office is and a few lessons I've learned along the way, and here's really the truth of it. I wish more people made videos like this when I was first getting started because number one, I remember I had the goal of $250,000 a month, and I thought if I got there I would be like a billionaire. Like that seemed like so much money to me, and so what I would have loved to see is how someone who's actually doing that, what that looks like, what the company they've looks like build, and how I can get there more quickly without making all the mistakes that I had to make. It took way longer than it should have, and I'm super grateful for the business I've had. It's been a ton of hard work and a ton of good things come out of it, but I could have done it faster and I could have done it with a lot less mistakes, and so that's what I want to show you in this video. I'm going to bring you into our office. We used to have the whole like corporate office thing. We had everybody in person, and a couple of years ago, we decided that wasn't as necessary to have everybody in one office, so we kind of split to two different offices that were more convenient, and now we've gone, for the most part, fully remote. Our only office is here at my house. 2 or 3 of us come here for the most part every day. We do work here, but the majority of our team is virtual, and I think that's really cool, and it's something I wish I would have done sooner because you can still build great culture, but it gives you the ability to find the right people anywhere. They don't have to be physically in one area, and you don't waste all the time of them having to like drive to the office every day and commute and all that stuff. And really, when you get in an office setting, there's a lot of distraction that happens. So I'm not for or against it either way. What I am now, and what I've learned a lot about, is that profit really matters. And I know that sounds silly, but when people are first building their businesses, they're so focused on revenue. Oh, I made 50 grand this month. I made 80 grand. I made 150 grand. And here's the thing that doesn't matter is the number that I started with. That 250 grand a month is revenue. What I care about is the profit and the bottom line. So that's one thing I like about virtual. Not only are we able to save money and still have a super cool office and still have a core team that we need to be in person most of the time to really get the work done that we need to, and the leadership team is what I'm talking about, but we're also able to, because we have more profit, spend more money, which I'll talk about in a second, on the people and incentivizing them well, and that makes all the difference in the business. So number one, the first thing that I've learned, I'll open this up, show you the office. I think it's pretty cool. I always love seeing people's offices. Maybe I'm just weird, I don't know. But that's one thing I've grown to really appreciate, is that the only thing that matters in your business is profit. So don't get so focused on that top line that you forget about the bottom line. Now, here's the thing. You can't make 50 grand take home if your business only makes 30 grand top line. So top line matters. I just think that it's really important, especially once you get your business to a certain size, to make sure that bottom line is there, because that's what really allows you to scale. And focusing on your bottom line actually helps you grow the top line because you make better decisions. And the more profit you have in a business, the larger you can grow it, the more you can spend on ads, the more you can do other stuff. And one more thing I want to point out before we go in here, I currently have 5 separate LLCs. But when I say that, I don't want you to think that the key is having a lot of businesses. You know, they always throw about this advice that like the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. Well, here's the thing. The goal, at least for me, is not to be a millionaire, a single millionaire. That's really not enough money in America. You can't retire on that, right? I mean, you can, but it's not going to be great. And so that's something I'd have you consider thinking about, is like, get away from that advice. What I'm not saying is you shouldn't invest your money and get streams of income from real estate. That's one of my companies, a real estate company. But I think it's actually better to focus on one thing or some related things and grow that as big as you can rather than changing your focus. So I have 5 different companies. 2 of those produce the majority of the revenue, and those 2 companies are what I spend 95% of my time on. The rest are just for specific purposes or investment. So here's our office as it sits right now. I've always wanted to have my car in my office, and I finally got the chance to do that, which is super cool. We can pull it out if we need more space. And then here's the desks where our team works. Kenny, who's filming this, usually sits there. Aaron sits over there, Jared, me. That's the team who works in person most of the time. And as you can see, I mean, it's nothing fancy. It's super cool. I love this office. We've had bigger offices. We've had offices in the fancy building, but like this one is super cool to me. It has what we need, right? We can work on that here. We have our team meetings here. This is super cool. It's a vibe board. It's like a digital whiteboard, not the point of this. But anyway, we have our team meetings there. That also serves as our live Q&A set. I film a lot of course content there, YouTube videos occasionally, stuff like that. And then we have our little kitchenette, the gear closet, and that's all we need to run the businesses that currently make $250 a month. Now, here's the thing. One thing I also wish I would have been told is that $250,000 a month top line for a business is a micro tiny business. So I'm not saying, oh, I'm so great I built a $250,000 a month business or businesses that equal that. I'm just showing you what that looks like and hopefully having you set your target higher. I've said this before, but the Small Business Administration defines a business that makes less than $40 million a year as a small business. And so if you do the math on 250, it's about 3 million. That's like a tiny business. And so not only do I want you to set your sights higher, but I also want you to see kind of what it looks like. 250. Also, one more thing that's super cool. So this is my house. My commute is really short, but also we all get to enjoy this super cool place. Like as a team, we play airsoft here. We do cool things. We have fun. We're a bunch of 20-year-olds. We like to play airsoft. So here's the view. We get a cool place to work. We get to enjoy it. And I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. So the first thing that all goes back to is profit really counts. The second thing that you have to have that I wish I would have learned sooner, and I learned the hard way a lot of time, is you have to have the right people on your team and you have to compensate them in the right way. And so with our leadership team and the people who are responsible for growing the business, in fact, anybody that has a way to make us more money gets paid profit share in the company that they're in, right? So in the photography business side, Kayla, the person who books our services and basically is our operations manager, gets profit share. Trent, who runs the day-to-day, gets profit share. And Jared, who's technically still acting as the CEO, gets profit share. Jared works mostly on this side of the business now. Everyone on this side of the business gets profit share. So most of their compensation comes from the profit the company generates. And so not only does that allow me to incentivize the people right, but it also allows me to pick the right people. Because good people, the ones that want to go out there and crush and grow a business, they don't want to be paid a flat salary. They want it to be merit-based, right? The more they do, the more they help grow the business, the more they get paid. And I love that structure. I wish I would have done it sooner. I think profit share is an amazing way to compensate employees and really makes a big difference in your business. So this is a little bit of what we have going on here. Last thing I'll kind of leave you with is, and I already hinted on this earlier a little bit, but the reason it took me more than anything, or really the two reasons why it took me longer than it should have to build my business to the level I have and why I haven't built it farther, is because number one, I used to be more stingy with the people that I hired and how I paid them. Not a good way to do it. I'd get whoever would come in, I'd let them do the job, even if they weren't good at it, and I wasn't good as a manager. So number one is you have to be rigorous about getting the right people in your business. If you don't do that, nothing else will go right. And number two is you need to think bigger than you're already thinking. I know if you're just starting your photo business, which is what most of you guys know me for, you're like, oh, I don't know. Here's the thing. You at some point will want to grow your business. It's this natural progress that everybody goes through, right? They start out as a single photographer. They're like, I just want to make $3,000 a month on the side, which is great. Make $3,000 a month on the side. It's awesome. But they do that. That's their goal. And they get into it. And they go, okay, now that I'm making $3,000 a month on the side, I would, now that I think about it, I'd love to quit my job, right? And I need to make 8 to comfortably quit my job because I make $5K a month right now. I need to make 8K or 100K for me to want to quit because maybe you have to buy your own benefits, whatever, right? You want to make $8,000 a month. And you're like, but I don't really want to hire anybody. Right? And so they go, oh, I'm just going to keep it at the same level. I'll make $8,000 a month. They get to $8,000 a month. They're like, this is awesome. Like, I want to grow my business, right? That's the thing that I did. Then they grow their business. They're like, well, it's kind of nice having 3 people. I still want to do this because I want to make sure my business stays high quality. I want to do that because you think somehow you being in a job makes it high quality. That's not true. Anyway, that's a side point. And then you're like, well, actually at this point, I'd like to start another business, which is what I did. So let me hire someone to run the business and answer the phones and do everything, right? If I would have just had that goal from the start, I guarantee you that I would have moved faster. And I'm not saying fast is the right thing for everyone, but I think fast is what's rewarded in business. Fast at the micro level makes you grow fast. And so I think if you're thinking bigger, you're going to do everything faster and your business is going to be more successful no matter what your goal is. And so that's the thing that I'd leave you with more than anything, really know where you want your business to go. Because if you know where you want it to go, you're going to get there much faster. And then wherever you want it to grow, or wherever you want it to go, set that target bigger. That's a common thing that a lot of people talk about is set your target bigger than you think it needs to be because that'll help you at least get to the target that you should have. So if you want to grow a $25,000 business a month that makes that much money, whether it's profit or revenue, whatever is up to you, think about how you can get a $100,000 a month business because then you'll get to 25 a lot faster. It's just how it works. I used to think small and it took me forever. When you think small, you charge small. When you think small, you do all these things that are small and you don't get the result. And so hopefully this is a cool video, shows you a little bit in. I'll kind of show you over here. This is where I sit. I mean, it's nothing fancy, but we have what we need there, and we invest in stuff we like. That vibe board was $4,000. I think that's a really good tool. We just got that, but I'm cheap with other things, right? I spend if I buy chairs, how cheap do I buy chairs, Kenny? I'm like, what's a $60 chair? Maybe that's stupid, but we spend money on what counts and what we think will grow the business. We got nice screens. We enjoy ourselves. Obviously, I'm not saying don't spend money. What I'm just saying is make sure you maximize the profit in your business so you can spend the money on what you actually want, whether that's reinvesting in your business and growing it or buying something stupid like a cool car, which is awesome as well. So that's all for this video. Hope you got something out of it. I'll see you in the next one.